Hi, I'm Vivi, and welcome to the Butterfly Bay. Bonjour, mon petit papillons, it's your Butterfly Bay here, and welcome to my brand new channel. It has taken so much time and so much courage to get to this moment right here. But I could not be more excited to film this video because this marks the very beginning of my new wholesome gaming channel. I'm thinking wholesome, I'm thinking cute, I'm thinking cozy. If there's a game with a good story, your girl's probably gonna play it, bring it straight to you at home. Our journey begins right here, and I say we get into it. Today we're going to be diving into one of my absolute favorite games, Stardew Valley. If you don't know what Stardew Valley is, it is basically the standard for cozy farming sims, and I have over 400 hours in the game, so you could say I'm something of an expert. So to kick off the channel, I thought I would show you my ultimate Stardew Valley character tier list. So I've compiled a tier list of all 45 characters in the valley, ranked from F to S, and I've added an extra category in my favorite color for my very favorite characters who I think deserve a slight cut above the rest. Starting off strong, we have the Governor. He's not necessarily an interesting character, he only appears at the luau, but his scenes are really funny, especially if you go the route of embarrassing Lewis. So for that, he gets a C. Also, I just really like his purple suit. It makes me smile. The henchman goes in a D tier. He's kind of in the rank with the Governor, where he's really only there for like one scene, but he's not quite as memorable as the Governor, if that makes sense. Marlin and Gil are a cute one because they're also side characters who really don't play a big role in the valley, but I've always had this headcanon that they kind of just live up in the mountains and go on treasure hunts together, and they're like this older gay couple that have decided to be the sworn protectors of the valley, so they get a bonus for that. Gil doesn't really speak to you, so he gets a C, but Marlin, because of that, will get a B, and I think that's a fair ranking for them. The Bouncer is another one where he isn't really there, he doesn't have that much to say. I will say though, in 1.6 there is an extra added scene where if you cheat and use the sword glitch hat to get into the club without a club card, he will actively kill you, and that adds something to his character. So I'm gonna actually put him in C above Gil, and it's kind of like same thing where he's now a little bit more memorable, so he could be with Marlin, but I won't put him in B because we have some better contenders. Like Mr. Key, who absolutely plays a bigger role in the game. He is everywhere, he is always watching. He kind of creeps me out, to be honest, but he's mysterious, he's interesting. I'd like to get to know more about him and his motivations. He gets an A. I'm fascinated. I kind of want to know more despite being terrified of him. Now, Sandy. If there was a character I could marry in the valley, it would be Sandy. Automatically, without question, she is my favorite character in the entire game. She goes straight in the favorites. I'm so upset that Emily became a romance candidate instead of her. We were given everything and taken it away with a single poll. I love Sandy. She goes in S. She goes in my favorites, actually. Birdie. Okay, Birdie's fascinating. She's kind of like a crazy lady that just washed up on the shore. But her whole storyline where you have to find some washed up memorabilia of her husband's, it's cool. I like it. It's a fun little quest. It's one of the more interesting side quests in Ginger Island, honestly. So I would put her in B for Birdie. She's more memorable than Marlin, but she's still a side character. Mr. Snail's kind of the same boat. It's cool that you get to free him from a cave, and there's something really funny and interesting about just this old man archaeologist who has been living in a mushroom cave for months. I like him. He's interesting, but he's not any more interesting than Birdie. Leo, however, definitely is like just this kind of crazy looking boy who was raised by birds but is so willing to help you when you clearly have no idea what you're doing on his island. I absolutely want to take him home. I want to raise him. I want to give him a good life. Like, he's an S tier, easy S tier. The dwarf. I always thought the dwarf was really cute, and I wanted to get to know the dwarf a lot more at first. The problem with him is that he and his people started beef with the shadow people, especially Krobus, who is my boy. So I cannot put him high, but I will give him a B above all of these side characters because I like him and he's really cute. However, next up is Krobus, who is my boy, who is the sweetest character in the valley, like easily one of my favorites. He goes in favorites just below Sandy, but they're pretty close in my book. Morris. I can hear the crowd booing me because I actually like him. I don't like Morris as a person, obviously. I'm very anti-capitalist. I've never done the Jojo Mart route. I'm terrified to. But it's kind of interesting that he just is like this guy that showed up and decided to destroy the local business. There's no reason for it. He has no motivation. He just is like, I'm gonna steal all of your customers. I don't know. I like him. Obviously, he's not a good guy. He gets a C, but I like the fact that he exists just to be like a temporary antagonist. Grandpa, of course, I have to put Grandpa in S tier. There would not be a game if there was not a grandpa that died and gave you a farm. Now, is he an interesting character? No. I mean, he's dead. But there wouldn't be Stardew Valley without Grandpa, so he gets an S. Gunther. Of all of the side characters who do not get a fully fleshed out story, Gunther has to be the one that I'm most sad about. He's the only person, like, in Pelican Town, the actual town, doesn't ever get to go outside. He never leaves the museum. He doesn't even get to go to festivals. Even Marlin goes to the flower dance. It kills me that I don't get to know about the mysterious museum man. I want to. I need to. He gets an S just for the potential. In fact, I'm going to put him above Grandpa because maybe someday I'll see what's in Gunther's history. Kent? Ooh. Kent's a tricky one. I don't actually know all that much about him. I never really take the time to get to know him. I will say he's the only husband in the whole valley who isn't just a complete douchebag and doesn't like belittle his wife. Do I think there's any love between him and Jody? Not really. But he's not a jerk. He's nice to his wife and kids. He just likes fishing. So he gets a C tier. I don't really care about him, but he's a good guy. And we like good people. Now, speaking of good people, Clint is not that. Easy F's here. I don't even need to explain it. I hate this man with every fiber of my being. There are zero redeeming qualities to him. And if you've played the game, you know what I'm talking about. Jazz. A lot of people don't like Jazz and Vincent. Like, people really hate on the kids. Most people like Jazz more than Vincent, and I'm inclined to agree. She's, first of all, adorable, and her relationship with Shane is the cutest thing. Like, the fact that her dad died or something, and Shane just took her in, not because they're related, but because it was like his buddy, and she fully just immerses herself into their family. She's really stuck up, but I just think she's adorable and I love her, and she gets an A tier. I'm gonna put her above Mr. Key because even her weird comments like, "You smell like grass," are less creepy to me than Mr. Key. Vincent. Now, Vincent has a lot of controversy. People really hate him, and I don't get it personally. Like, he's just a kid. To me, he reads as like a 6-year-old with undiagnosed ADHD, and I don't get why people hate on him. Do I like him more than Jazz? No, but he still gets a B tier. Like, he's just a baby. Linus, my boy, the best friend you could ever have. There is something so powerful about Linus's character. Like, he could be read as this crazy homeless man in the mountains, but he just likes to be in nature. The fact that his final heart event is all about you being a friend to him and accepting him for his life choices and not judging him. The fact that he keeps to himself, he feels bad when other people misperceive his intentions. Like, he's such a sweet guy. He just wants to keep to himself. I absolutely adore him. He gets an S, right up there with Leo, because they're just so cute. The wizard, ooh. I like that the wizard and Linus are low-key friends. There's not really any reason to it. They just are. I think it's really cute. I think if there was more to the wizard's character, I would be a lot more fascinated with him. Definitely the first time that I played, I was like, ooh, a wizard in the woods? So mysterious, I have to know. And then there's actually not all that much to him. That being said, he still has so much potential, and I still like his character. So I think he gets an A just below Mr. Key. Yeah. He's another one where I'm like, easy F. Easy F. I would put him above Clint, but I just think that somehow he's worse than Clint, because he scams you, he lies to the whole town, he lies to his family, he sells your quality crops and says that he grew them, and then tells the people that your regular quality crops were from you specifically so that people will think you're terrible and he's great. I hate him. He's horrible. There's no reason for it. He gets an easy F. Now, Gus, on the other hand, Gus is one of my favorites. If there was a character who was going to take over, like if Mayor Lewis died or he retired and they needed a new mayor, I'm voting for Gus. He takes care of the town. He gives Linus free food so that Linus doesn't have to starve. He takes care of his people. He watches Pam. I know people say that he enables her, and he kind of does, but I think that he probably, after a few drinks, would slip her water and say, oh yeah, no, I swapped you to vodka, and just not say anything, because he likes his people, and I adore Gus. He gets an S. He's not my absolute favorite, but I do adore him. Caroline for me is pretty middle of the pack. She's not my favorite mom, but she's definitely not my least favorite mom. I don't like the way that she talks to and about Abigail, but I also can't fully blame her because her husband is just such a trash bag, and the fact that she has like her own gorgeous tea room in the bag just to escape him. Like, she's a good character, she's very interesting and dynamic, she's a great person to befriend, so she gets an A for sure. I'll put her just below Jazz. I like Jazz a little bit more, but I do like Caroline. Jody, on the other hand, I don't really like. She is stunning. Like, her winter portrait especially, gorgeous. But she's gonna be my least favorite mom, actually. Probably just because she, to me, reads like a super religious mother. Not in the sweet way, but more in the overbearing helicopter parent, like, everyone is in the wrong, and if you're not Yoba-fearing, I want to like Jody, and I do like her relationship with Caroline, but I just don't like her that much. So she can go just below her husband in C tier. Willie would be a really fascinating one to explore, like a character mod for, because I don't know too much about him, but what I do know I like he just lives on the pier, and he keeps to himself, and he likes to fish, and I think he's sweet. Like, he would be really interesting to explore further. I don't know too much more than that, but I do like him more than Vincent, to be sure. Demetrius. All right. Hear me out. Instant F. Well, I like him more than Clint, but he is just so rude to all of his family members. Like, he seems like he should be a good dad and a good husband, but then he isn't, because he has to be right all the time. And especially as a diehard Sebastian lover, the way that he treats Sebastian breaks my heart, and I can never forgive him for that. Like, that is the love of your life's child. How can you just throw him out like that? It kills me. All right. Moving on. George. Ooh, George. I think George is not sweet, but I really like him. I know that George is like an old, crotchety old man, and he seems grumpy and he seems rude, but I really love his story and some of his dialogue lines. He just feels like a grandfather to me. Like, it is very much that time period. This is how we did things and this is how we know things. But I went to war and I suffered, and I don't know how to move past from that, so I'm trying my best and I'm living my day-to-day life. And like, the fact that he's willing to be friends with you as someone so much younger than him, and he supports your life decisions as much as he possibly can, I really like him. He reminds me of my own grandparents. Like, I adore him. He gets an A. Definitely. Now, Evelyn, I love. There's something about her. It's probably just the fact that I have such a close connection to my own grandma. Like, I adore Evelyn. She goes straight into my favorites list. Like, she's the sweetest. She wants to take care of you. Like, she'll tell you all about her family, and she supports her grandson and her husband and you and everybody else. She's so sweet. I love Evelyn. Oh, Lewis. Lewis gets an F. You know what? He gets a D, actually. I'll put him above the henchman. He gets a D because at least he's slightly more interesting and not entirely horrible like these three, but he's not a good person at all. I think the only reason that he even gets a D versus an F is because you're meant to not like him. You're meant to want to make fun of him to the point where he's almost become like a joke character. And I love me a joke character who's basically thrown in for the plot to be made fun of. I love characters like that. And that's basically Lewis at this point. So he gets a D. Marnie I used to be really, really hot on. Like, I used to think of her as one of my absolute favorite moms, even though she's technically not a mom, but I used to think of her that way. Now it's kind of dulled because of the way that she treats Shane in his heart events. Now, I think Marnie deserves the world. Like, she definitely deserves better than Lewis, but I do also think that she could try a lot harder to, like, understand her mentally struggling nephew who just is trying to get by and doesn't know how to. She's so unsympathetic, like to someone who is literally suicidal. That's terrifying. I don't like that. So I can't put her down here because it hurts me too much, but she does get a B just because that hurts her. Pam. Pam is pretty much the same thing, where I'm like, I used to be really hot on her, and then I realized that no matter how hard you try, you literally cannot help her. You cannot save her. You cannot change her. Even if you buy her a home. Even if you put your savings and your time and your effort, she's not going to change who she is. Does that make her kind of interesting? Yeah, but it does also hurt as someone who wants to be able to help everybody in the valley. Like, that is kind of the point of the game, is to be able to help all of your new friends. You can't do anything for Pam. That sucks. But she's still fascinating to me, so I'm gonna put her below Vincent. Alright, Robin. That is my number one MILF. For obvious reasons. Robin is my number one mom. Basically just because she's always there to take care of you. Like, she's a strong woman. Like, there is nothing about her character that does not read butch lesbian to me, no matter how many times I watch her go to the saloon and dance with Demetrius. Like, she literally wears only butch clothing, and I'm not saying a straight woman can't wear plaid, but I'm just saying it was made for the gays. I don't know. She definitely gets an S. She's right up there with Gus, where, like, if these two were running for mayor, I would have a hard time picking between the two, honestly, because they both would take care of the town, they would rebuild it from the ground up, and it would be amazing. Elliot. Alright. Some of you are going to come for me for this one. So just know this is super tongue-in-cheek. I hate Elliot. I used to adore him because he is what I wish that I was. I mean, he has the life that I wish that I have. Just a writer who lives on the beach and writes romance stories and goes to the bar with the local lesbian artist and has a drink every other day. He has the life that I wish I have. But I don't like him because he takes that so for granted. Like, he reads as such a pretentious, pompous jerk who thinks everybody is below him. And some people might see that as kind of romantic. I don't. I think he's stuck up. I think that half of his dialogue lines look down on you or other members of the town, and not in an endearing way like Haley, but in a way like he does not register that what he's saying is wrong, and that kills me. And definitely his 10 heart event really lets him down. No spoilers if you wanted to romance Elliot and never have, but he just reads as a creep in that scene, and I can't stand it. So he gets an F. I dislike him even more than I dislike Pierre. That is how much I don't like Elliot. On the other hand, Leia is my number one romance. That is my girl, the only canon lesbian in the entire game. I adore her to pieces. And it's not just because, like, oh, she's cute. Her scenes have the most natural chemistry with the farmer character. Like, there's something about the fact that, unlike everybody else who has kind of settled into their lives, Leia has just moved into this space the way that you as the player have, and she is an independent artist, and she knows that that's not stable income. She knows that it's hard, and it's all about the grind and the struggle until eventually she hits success, And even then she's like, this is all because you pushed me to be what I can be. But that doesn't mean I can just stop. I have to keep going. And she does. And I love her for that. She's so sweet. She's so cute. I love her to pieces. She goes in the favorites right up there with Sandy. Shane. Shane is hard because I want to take romance completely out of this and just read them as characters. And as a character, he's definitely an S tier. Like, he's right up here with these guys. He is one of the most interesting characters. His heart events have had so much dedication and love put into them. It's just hard to see that and see all of the character development and the growth and him trying to get over his addiction and his problems, only to then romance him and see it all disappear. Now, if you don't see that, if you just remain friends with him, he is easily one of the best characters in the game. But if you have seen that, and you have married him, then there's just no point to his character almost. Like, everything that you've worked for becomes obsolete. But again, disregarding that, like, he, in opposition to Pam, if you stay friends, you've fixed him, you've helped him. If you marry him, he becomes Pam. Emily, you can really tell that Concerned Ape wasn't really sure what to do with her. I like Emily a lot. I think if she wasn't made into a bachelorette later on, she would be a lot more interesting to me. Because all of her heart events are basically drug trips. Like, she dances for you, you appear in her dreams, she dresses up the town. She's so fascinating. I think she's great. She cracks me up. Manic pixie dream girl from start to finish. Is she one of my favorites? No, but I do think that I like her enough that I would put her in B at least. That's a solid passing grade. Haley. Alright. People either love or hate Haley. And I love her. And I'm not the kind of person to fall for, like, the mean girl because she's mean to me. I care about character growth, and she definitely has it. She goes from looking at you and thinking, ew, you're wearing that, to, I'm so happy that I saw you today. Let's go shopping together. I love that for her. She gets an S tier just for that. I'll put her above Gunther. Like, she's not my absolute favorite, but I do adore her. Alex. Alex is a similar one where he experiences so much interesting character growth. Like, half of his heart events make me sob. They are so good and so cute. But if you marry him, that again kind of goes downhill. And it's totally different if you try to marry or befriend him if you're a girl versus if you're a guy. If you're a guy, there's pretty much no one better to chase after. If you're a girl, you know that it's literally just like the jerky jock who will say every condescending thing in the world to you and then marry you because you just happen to be cute. I don't like that. As a girl, I don't like that. If I were playing as a guy, I love him, and he's adorable. So he does get a strong A. Penny. Ooh. I actually like Penny. A lot of people don't. A lot of people think she's really boring. I'm not going to say she's super interesting, but she's very, very sweet. She's probably the character that is the most like me besides Leia. Just because she's like sweet and she's bookish and she's had this hard backstory, but she's trying to live through it every day, and I admire her for that. She's also kind of very stuck in the past to the point where you just go to say hi to her on a Tuesday in fall and she starts crying. And I'm not saying that's not okay. You can have your struggles, you can have a bad day, but every day that's when you need to accept help, and she doesn't. So that hurts her a little bit, but I do like her a lot, so she gets an A. I do really like Penny. Maru, that's kind of the same thing, like, not necessarily the most fascinating character. I feel like she could have been worked on more, but I do still adore her. Like, Woman in STEM, Go Girly, I think it's her 6 or 8 heart event where you go stargazing with her. Like, that is so cute. It's so romantic. I love stargazing. I do really like Maru. She's not that fascinating, but she does kind of fall in this character of, like, I really like her just because there's more of her than there is of some of these other characters. Harvey. Okay. Harvey is boring. I do like him. He's very sweet. Like, he has all the potential of a male wife. He's very cute. Some of his later dialogue lines are adorably flirty, in ways that some of the other romanceable characters aren't. But to me, he's just not exciting enough. Like, I want more in someone that I'm going to be friends with, and definitely somebody that I'm going to marry. I want there to be slightly more to them. I want you to go outside. I want you to take me on fun dates. Like, there's not too much to Harvey, so he kind of goes down here with, like, Willie. Like, he's not fantastic, but I don't hate him. Sam is in kind of a similar boat. Like, he reads very young to me, and I'm not vibing with that. Like, he basically, yeah, he's a musician, that's cool, but the fact that he's, like, in his 20s and scared that his mom is gonna catch him having a friend over at night, it's not really something that I want to be getting into, you know? I like Sam. He's very sweet. He's one of the few characters that's actually nice to you at the beginning of the game. Do I rank him with these people? No. He probably goes by Emily. Like, not much going on between those eyes. Abby, on the other hand, I'm not Tumblr goth. Like, I'm very femme, but I can absolutely vibe with whatever Concerned Ape was trying to put into Abby's character. Like, she's so sweet and upbeat, and she wants to take you on adventures, and she wants to go and do things. Like, she actively, in her day-to-day dialogue, asks you to join her on whatever she feels like doing. You want to go to the mines with me? You want to go to the saloon today? She actually reads like a good friend. And since we are just sticking with friends and not romance, she absolutely gets an A. She gets an A right above Jazz. I like her that much. And last but not least, we have my boy Sebastian. Seb is my original baby girl. I was never emo, but I like the emo boy. His D&D event is so cool. The fact that he plays piano, I play piano. I adore Seb with everything in me. And I think there is a part of me that will never be able to get over him, even though Leia is my number one romance now and probably forever will be. I love Sebastian. My friends and family still talk to me about, like, oh, hey, have you talked to your boyfriend yet? While I'm playing Stardew. And I have to say, nope, not yet. I'm getting a frozen tear now. I love Sebastian so much. He goes above Robin. He's not... Ooh. No, he's gonna be in my favorites. He's not the top with the other girlies, but he is still my favorite. I can't ignore it. A girl likes what she likes. So yeah, I think this is my finalized tier list. I'm pretty happy with it. Let me know for sure if you're a Stardew Valley fan and there are characters that you totally disagree with on my list. Like, characters that I hated on that you actually love, characters that I love that you don't understand. Let me know in the comments down below. And for sure, if you have any ideas of something I should do or games you'd like me to try out, let me know down in the comments below as well. I would love to hear it. While you're down there, you might as well like and subscribe. It's fun, it's free, you'll get to see more of me. And honestly, this is the first video. Things can only go up from here. So, without further ado, bonsoir mon petit papillons. See you next time. Bye.